All right, I'd like to start with an activity. So do me a favor and close your eyes. Now picture Hiroshima. Picture Martin Luther King Jr. Picture Vietnam. Picture Benghazi. And picture 9/11. You can open your eyes. We all as humans, as Americans, have vivid images in our minds that resonates with these words, with these images. I see a flag, flying, remaining, standing. I feel proud that we have endured, rose, and stood as a united nation. One nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And along with this very familiar pledge to our country, there's a song I hear in my head. It is a song that evolved from a poem describing America's victory over the British in our strive for independence, the Star-Spangled Banner. The poem describes men and women battles and struggles men and women face for our freedom. And the flag was and is still standing as a visual sign of that freedom. Freedom granted to us by the Constitution of the United States of America, as long as those civil laws are followed. But I'm not here to talk about how to exercise personal freedoms, such as, for example, the right to kneel in this poem. So, the question, does he have the right to kneel? It's a hard question with a hard answer, and honestly, it's not the entire question. The real question is, does he have the right to kneel on the job with a code of conduct on a field owned by the San Francisco 49ers on national TV, sponsored by millions of dollars in media, and an asset he did not own? That is the entire question of what I'm here to discuss. In our country today, many would say tensions are high, and most specifically, the tensions are politically and racially charged. Fair? And this fact exists even given that our country has worked for close to 200 years for equality in the laws of our country. Laws such as freedom of religion, the right to bear arms, and freedom of speech for all citizens of the United States. One hot topic or question that surfaced in 2018 and sitting at the forefront of a freedom of speech debate is, does an individual or group, particularly athletes, have the right to decide if they wish to stand and pay respect to the flag while the Star-Spangled Banner is presented? As I have stated, this is a hard question with a controversial and sometimes polarizing answer. And my simple answer is, it depends on the context, environment, and circumstances. As you all know, the practice of standing during the national anthem or Star-Spangled Banner is a tradition. It's a part of the opening of ceremonies of many events. Also, the topic and answer to the question, to stand or not to stand, impacts many areas of society, politics, race, business, and crosses all types of venues, sports, entertainment, and commerce arenas. The views on what is right or what is wrong are 180 degrees opposite, and seemingly creates an atmosphere in which there is no middle ground. People are completely for or completely against the choice at hand. Do I stand or do I kneel? Given what standing or kneeling means to me personally. Big business is weighing in, the military is weighing in, Trump is weighing in, and obviously the general population is weighing in. Primarily through mainstream media, government officials, as the president, the military, the clergy, universities, and individuals are all expressing, and in some instances enforcing, the approval of long-standing expectation and practice of our society, saying individuals must stand as a symbol of honor during the anthem. These feelings are not new news. Some examples of protesting the flag and the feeling of racism and discontent in America began over 50 years ago with idols such as Bill Russell and Muhammad Ali. Ali stated that war was against his beliefs and refused the mandatory draft in Vietnam. This is one of the most famous public recognitions of the division that Americans were experiencing in the late 60s. The football player Colin Kaepernick is the most recent and well-known athlete to take the lead role and publicly speak and act in protest for what he professes to be inequity of freedoms in the United States. Kaepernick became the first NFL player to kneel during the national anthem. Then following the game, he openly discussed his reasoning during a press conference. The nation and Kaepernick were shocked at the ripple effect that the simple act of kneeling had on the nation. As public interest peaked from week to week, several players on Colin's team began to join him by locking arms and kneeling beside him, seeming to cause the divisiveness of our country to grow. Players, cheerleaders, and fans alike began to kneel in protest during the presentation of the flag and the national anthem. For example, cheerleaders at KSU, just up the road, knelt in protest during the flag presentation at the football game, and they are no longer cheerleaders. At this point, the media is in a frenzy, documenting an enormous amount of footage and highly publicizing the protests across the nation, which heightened by Kaepernick's actions. The football player is idolized by some and hated by others, because as more players are interviewed, they continue to publicly reference him as a hero. He is commended for his willingness to stand for his beliefs and begin the public protesting. Also, because of this highly publicized recognition and the direct connection to sports, Nike decides to launch a controversial national marketing campaign, further feeding the media frenzy. Nike focused on its target market of predominantly African American individuals who wear Nike gear while participating in their chosen sport. And some of the same feelings of suppression that Kaepernick has voiced. Therefore, as the National Football League is fighting to take away Colin's highly public platform, the giant global marketing machine in Nike is providing another platform. Nike launches a national television, print, and digital campaign in 2018 that shocks the world by idolizing Colin Kaepernick for his bravery and sacrifice. By using their tremendous multimedia platform, Nike provides a different venue for the voice of Kaepernick as it becomes one of the central stars in the new Nike commercial. The almost instantaneously tagline, "Believe in something, even if it means sacrificing everything," caused an explosion of commentary and controversy over social media and mainstream media. At the core, the tagline represents Colin as a person using his athletic talents to afford him a national stage on which to express his negative feelings about the lack of equality and freedom in the U.S. And it is perfectly okay for Colin to be paid by the Nike company who express these beliefs of minority suppression quite strategically and intentionally. Nike is 100% in control of the messaging, the editing, the TV buys, the digital plan, the creative idea, and produces the social messaging and orchestrates the response exactly as planned. Unfortunately, the NFL is not afforded the same level of respect and does not have the opportunity to control Colin's act in protest the way that Nike did. As a result of his actions on their athletic stage, Colin was released from his NFL team and never re-signed to any other NFL organization. It seems as just the tagline described, Colin seems willing to give up playing the sport he loved and the millions of dollars it afforded him to earn in exchange for a global awareness for the inequalities, brutality, and suppression of people of color in the U.S. As a result of the protests, the National Football League met following the season to discuss the existing rules concerning kneeling. Then at the beginning of the 17-18 season, the league commissioner announced a regulation change. The rule had read, players should stand during the national anthem. Therefore, the rule was changed to offer clear, actionable expectations, and now reads, players players are required, if on the field, to stand during the national anthem. If they do not agree to stand, then the players will need to stand or sit in an area off the field, whether the hallway coming into the field or in the locker room during the national anthem. I commend the NFL for actively seeking to provide clarity around the rule, regardless of whether one agrees there should be a clarity provided for players' expected behaviors. This change in the wording to the rule is important because it gives the players the right to a personal choice about whether to not stand in honor of our nation during the national anthem, but does not give them the platform of the national audience to publicize their choice to protest against the nation. And there have been some solution-oriented, unified decisions by some NFL teams in regards to the stance on the anthem that can be learned from. And there have been some solution-oriented, unified decisions made by some NFL teams in regards to the stance on the anthem that can be learned from. One of these examples of compromise is the action taken by the Pittsburgh Steelers. This team came together as a unit to make a unified decision about the national anthem ceremony. Some members wanted to stand on the sideline, while others wanted to kneel. Therefore, the team decided that as a unit, they would remain in the tunnel during the playing of the national anthem, and players could choose in a private setting to either stand or kneel. This was a manageable compromise. All players were in compliance with the rules of conduct. They could be true to their core values, and their personal agenda would remain personal, as no media would be allowed to view their choice. But overall, the fact that the NFL is embracing a code of conduct for the athletes and setting precedents with this action says that they are serious about their brand presence and brand integrity, and one would expect this trend to continue. The NFL is following suit when it comes to the seriousness of brand protection, just as any other famous brands. Coca-Cola is one of the most recognized brands in the world. The Coca-Cola Company employees can be fired for continuously and publicly displaying the drinking of competing brands in social media or during everyday life. And they must not use the popularity of the Coca-Cola brand as their own popularity to further any personal agenda or beliefs. And if they do, they are in violation of the Code of Business Conduct and can be subject to termination. The same principles apply to professional athletes. Professional football players sign lucrative individual NFL contracts. Their salary is paid by the owners of the team governed by the NFL. This money trail originating from the NFL means that the athletes must abide by the code of conduct issued by the NFL, which therefore means professional athletes must stand in public when the national anthem is played because the code of business conduct of the NFL requires them to. Another reason why professional athletes should not be able to use their own corporate platform is the potential degradation and confusion of the brand strategy. What if all professional athletes use the NFL, NBA, or MLB platform to forward their own personal agenda? There are over 5,000 professional athletes. If each one used the corporate platform as their own, or for means of protest, then there would be a complete confusion around brand equity and brand identity. A third reason is brand trademark protection. If a trademark is diluted to the point where it's not recognized, then there is no longer a trademark, and this can be costly towards brand equity and ultimately revenue. And lastly, the big money talks. Media buys are expensive. Teams must get the return on the investment for media. To get the return, the fans must watch the events and buy tickets to the events. If an individual player or other participant uses the national media to promote his or her own agenda that is misaligned with the spirit of the game, then many of the fans can be angry and no longer want to watch the event. This will hurt the team and the financial investment. Again, the media is used to promote the sport, not the personal views and beliefs of the individuals, players involved in the sport. When players protest, they are hijacking their platform for personal messages, immediately dividing versus unifying the fan base, and can negatively impact the media ROI. But Colin Kaepernick felt passionate and committed to his actions. He stated, he is the voice for whom he believes cannot speak up for themselves. He stated, this stand wasn't for me. This is because I'm seeing things happen to people that don't have a voice, that don't have a platform to talk, and have their voices heard and affect change. So I'm in a position where I'm going to do that, and I'm going to do that for the people that can. I'm not sure the rules or the money matter. I'm not sure Colin thought through any unintended consequences of his actions, or the divisionist and polarization that followed. Because at the end of the day, most would agree that the national anthem is meant to unify, honor freedom, and personal liberty that is becoming scarce in this world, and is the very spirit and meaning of this poem. Team sporting activities are a replica of working together for what success looks like, because they are 100% dependent on unification to drive winning. A team is a group acting as a unit to drive results greater than the sum of the parts. And as some of the most powerful influencers in the world, professional athletes must work to portray that unity before, during, and after gaming in order to preserve the integrity of team sports. What is the picture we are portraying if the kids watching football on Sunday and see some athletes kneel during the national anthem? The visual message is division, not unification. This action contradicts the very essence and goal of team sports that provides such an opportunity to teach children how to work together to succeed. And most importantly, team sports teach children that other needs sometimes come before your own, and the team success does not always equate to individual success, which is not just a lesson of the game, this is a life lesson. It is true, most normal individuals do not have to stand. The First Amendment rights granted to individuals by the Constitution of the United States provide the right to stand, sit, kneel, or even burn the flag in an act of protest. Also, an individual with celebrity status who can represent the voice of the people can send a message on behalf of the people on a highly public platform without resource because they are exercising those First Amendment rights. But there are consequences when exercising these First Amendment rights for the professional athletes because the brand has rights too. As a result of his actions, Kaepernick was fined and ultimately dropped by the NFL because they were committed to protecting their brand. Likewise, celebrity and professional golfer Tiger Woods was dropped by Tag Heuer and American Express for his poor choices and conduct outside his golf game because of the detriment that the brands felt as a result of being associated with Tiger. So, when athletes began protesting our country during some of the pregame national anthem ceremonies, the league began to respond with code violations, fines, and/or warnings for the athletes who participated in what the leagues called a poor choice, and this was their right. Specifically, as a result of this protesting action during the national anthem, the NFL responded by changing and clarifying their code as I have described. The NFL actions clarified with conviction that they were protecting their brand. The NFL would not accept the hijacking of their global platform for the purpose and personal expressions and protest is misused and will not be tolerated. Again, the only reason that the platform is available to the athlete is because some other entity or organization has paid a large sum of money for it, and they did so in order to entertain the viewing audience through athletic games. The job of a football player in the NFL is to play football, and an athlete must stick to the job. And an athlete must stick to the job which they are paid and leave the expression of their personal agenda to times when they are off the clock and not being paid. So, to conclude, does the professional athlete have the right to kneel and protest during the national anthem, during a national football game? No, because they're controlled by the code of conduct of the NFL. The NFL pays for the global platform that provides global presence for their brand and pays the professional athlete's salary. Therefore, the NFL has every right to act in a matter I have described, mandating the NFL on the NFL payroll stand for the anthem when asked to stand. In conclusion, I personally believe what went on with Nike was completely okay. Nike paid for everything to happen with what the commercial brought. They wanted him to say what he said. They gave every right for him to say what he wanted to show. But what he did on the NFL field was unacceptable. You're not allowed to do that with a brand worth almost $83 billion. $83 billion. It's just unacceptable. Thank you.
Thank you, Coleman. Sorry about the mic interruptions. Great presentation. So we'll now start the Q&A portion of this presentation. So judges, as y'all have questions for Coleman, you can pass the mic and ask.
Well, one thing I worry about is that the athletes recently have taken on this stage of their political views. And like Colin did, should the athletes just play the sport they get paid to play and keep the political views to themselves?
I completely agree with you. I would completely agree with you because when I play basketball because I love the sport. I don't play to exercise my personal beliefs on certain days. And so yes, I would agree that they're called to play the sport that they love.
Yeah, we're just no mic.
Yeah.
What about those that would say, because many athletes come from a lower economic background, but they need to speak out because of the social injustice they see in their neighborhoods, and they have a national stage and use that to help their brothers back home?
What I would say to that is kind of an example of what I think is great for those who don't have, or who are less fortunate in their early stages, like what LeBron James did. He understands that the people need education, and so for him to bring a school to his home city and have everything paid for, you can't have anything better than that. Like, he's providing them with everything they need to get a college education. College education is actually paid for by Akron if they graduate through the I Promise school. So I feel like that's the best example that somebody who comes from a school or comes from a situation where he's he's unfortunate and the money's not there, I would look to him for that advice.
Thank you for that presentation, Colin. I have a few questions about your research. Where did you find the research about the publicity that Nike achieved as a result of the Kaepernick picture and statement? Did their sales go up, down? Were they unaffected?
I would say they definitely made noise, but in some instances it was very bad because there was videos of people burning their shoes, burning their clothing, and many would say, I'm not buying Nike again. I talked to a friend of mine last night. He won't buy from Nike again just because he comes from a military family and he believes what they did was unacceptable. So I definitely think that made noise, and what his message was I'm going to speak against something because I believe in it, so that's great, but there was definitely negative feedback on a lot of people.
Yes. Another thing, kind of along the same similar lines, is Kaepernick has been dismissed. Or he no longer has a contract with the NFL or any NFL team. Is that a result of kneeling, or is that a result of performance?
I would say a little bit of both, but I definitely think a large portion of that is because of what he did on the field. that's why a lot of people are saying, why isn't he playing? Why isn't he playing? He's good enough. Well, you can't do that on the field because a lot of NFL owners aren't looking towards buying a contract for a player that's promoting his own personal agenda.
Well, but the attendance in the NFL, has your research revealed anything about the attendance since the kneeling, especially since so many players have taken up the Kaepernick banner?
What I've seen in the attendance is actually on TV, it's gone down. But fans that are actually attending the event, it's been pretty much the same. But a lot of TV viewers are going towards college football because it's just a football game. They're watching the football game to cheer on their team, not really care about any type of political view or personal agenda. They just do it because they love the sport. And I've seen a lot of TV viewers change their views towards going toward the college football platform.
I don't like microphones.
I see why.
Yeah. My first question is, did you do any research on the collusion, I won't say, I guess, a lawsuit? There was a settlement out of court, or, well, some sort of a settlement between the NFL owners and Kaepernick,
Yes.
saying they colluded to not allow him to play. I know that would be kind of farther down the tangent, but did you do any research on that, or did you?
I touched on it a little bit, and I know they gave him a lump sum of money for whatever reason, I guess, because I personally believe because the code of conduct was so unclear of what you're supposed to do during the national anthem. So I'm not really sure, I didn't touch on it a ton, but I know that there was a significant amount of money that he was given because of the actions by the NFL owners.
Second thing, what do you think about people who say freedom of speech overrides any contract, work contract? You know, the Constitution is the Constitution, and some people might say that you can't make a rule for an employee or anyone that can override that. In other words, that's the law of the land, and it's supreme law of the land. So you have a platform. Unfortunately, the First Amendment doesn't cover how intelligent your platform might be or not, or maybe fortunately it doesn't. What would you say to someone who said, forget the code of conduct, it might be in there, but it can't apply. It just can't. He has a platform, he made the money, he plays that well, he's standing on the sideline of an NFL team, he's got the cameras in his face, they don't turn them off, people keep listening. What would you say to that to that scenario?
I would definitely go back to what if everyone did that? They had all 5,000 athletes continue to share their personal agendas and speak against whatever they feel is necessary on interviews. Because, again, I would play the sport because I love it. And what the NFL did, I think, was protect their brand. They did a good job of it because they wanted to. They needed to protect their brand because of how much it's worth. Again, $83 billion is a lot of money. So I would definitely say that because, yes, the Constitution has rights, but the owners and the organization also has rights. And if you sign a contract, you're following rules.
Fair enough. I do have one more point, or one more kind of a couple of questions. First of all, what do you think that, I guess let's just say Kaepernick, really wanted to achieve, right, specifically? Do you think that his kneeling achieved any of the goals that you may give me? I don't want to get too far. Let's just go.
I think some of his goals were, what he stated was that there was suppression over police brutality and there were some actions of the minority being misused or whatever that may be. But honestly, there's been a lot of social media just reiterating the fact that there's been police brutality and that people are being misused, the minority. So I think his goals were to speak for those people and try to get a change. But that stage was at, this just created even more division because, I mean, it was so divided at that time. It still is almost, I would say. So,
And the last thing that, I guess, where the rubber meets the road is if you were standing on the, well, you're Kaepernick, let's just say that you genuinely believe that there is police brutality, that there is a racial divide, you have the platform. Kneeling's an option, but you're a red-blooded American, and that's not what you're going to do. You have one thing to do, what would it be? What would you do to fix what you believe is a racial, you have a platform, you're the guy who's standing there, and you think people are going to listen, whether it be Trump or whoever is going to listen to you. What would you do instead of kneeling?
I would probably say, since I have a faith-based mind, any type of interviews, people ask me about it, I'd say it's between you and God. It's your relationship with Him. And if you feel like, personally, deep down, at your heart, this is the right thing to do, you need to have a conversation with Him. Because I would definitely think He would say otherwise. And I think that gap of not knowing knowing of God instead of knowing God, and knowing who Jesus is, and knowing what Jesus did for us, that's going to tell you what the true and right decision is instead of what's been happening.
You kind of hit on it earlier, but do you think these players that are kneeling have actually helped the social injustice? Has there any laws been passed? Have the politicians taken more notice of it? Or has it caused more divide between our society?
More divide. Consistently more divide.
And why do you think that is?
For some reason, I mean, I even struggle with it today. I used to get kind of made fun of if I would hang out with minorities. And I didn't really understand that because I love you. If you love me, I'm going to show caringness. And I feel like there's a gap between individuals who have egos, who make a lot of money. They don't understand we're all on the same page. We're all on one goal, hopefully, to make the right decisions and do the right things for everyone. So I honestly don't know why they're making these actions and these things keep happening and it just keeps getting more divisive. And I wish I had a mic to stand and talk about it because I know plenty of people. I know Clemson's head football coach, he spoke about it. They've had plenty of talk shows to talk about it. Trump's been talking about it on Twitter almost a lot. So there's definitely been both sides trying to talk about it, bring back the country, but I don't know what. I would bring back to it's between you and God because I feel like He's going to tell you the right answer regardless.
All right. Do you suppose that the divide in the country is not about whether or not what Colin Kaepernick and others are trying to achieve and whether or not they have the right to do it? Has your research revealed anything about that? By that I mean, of course, there's a controversy involved. And whether or not you agree with Colin Kaepernick or not, is the controversy does it really stem from his right to do it?
I'm not sure.
You don't suppose, you understand the question?
I don't think I'm understanding completely what you're trying to say.
There seems to be a lot of publicity about his kneeling and others kneeling with him, for instance. The other players in the NFL who knelt with Colin Kaepernick, was it because they agreed with him? Or were they just trying to show solidarity with him to stress the fact that he had the right to do that? do you suppose? What's your opinion?
I would say that the athletes sometimes think they don't have a voice themselves. And so when they join someone who's made that step and they keep acknowledging the fact that he's a hero, I'm supporting what he's doing, they're showing that they have a voice as well because they want people to know what they know as well. So I would say it's a little bit of both though. The fact that they think he's doing what is right as well as, hey, yeah, I have a voice too. I want to speak against something. Let me speak. So I'd say it's definitely a mixture of the two.
All right, well, I think we're about out of time for questions. Thank you, Coleman, for your answers. Thank you, judges, for your questions. So that brings our presentation to a conclusion today. So let's give Coleman another round of applause. Coleman, great job.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.